Windscale, the pride of Britain. Nestled in the picturesque Lake District, the state-of-the-art atom plant has transformed this rugged landscape into the envy of its northern neighbors. Scientific progress waits for no one.
Where did you get such an idea?
Do you know what the United Kingdom is? You know, good old UK. Good. Do you know what Fallout is? You know, the famous Fallout video game series? What happens if you combine the two? If you combine Fallout with the United Kingdom? Fallout London. No, wait. Atomfall.
Is anybody there? I need help.
Welcome. I'm Simon, and this is my video on Atomfall. Atomfall is a game developed and published by Rebellion Developments. They are mostly known for their previous games in the Sniper Elite and Alien vs Predator game series. Atomfall was released on March 27, 2025 for platforms PlayStation, Xbox and Windows. So, Atomfall is set in good old England, more precisely an alternate history version of northwestern part of England called Cumberland. In 1957, an accident happens in a nuclear plant where a bunch of crazy scientists worked and all hell breaks loose. And the entire area around the plant is quarantined. All communication is cut off and nobody is allowed in or out. The quarantine zone is where the game starts as you wake up in an underground bunker, not knowing who you are or where you are from. You are woken up by a crazy scientist in a yellow jumpsuit and a gas mask. He's seriously wounded and is leaking blood all over the place. Long story short, he's telling you everything's gone to hell and it's now up to you to go out there into the wilderness and find answers.
Quarantine protocol is in effect. This door must remain sealed. Emergency access has been granted.
The game then puts you through a brief tutorial showing you the basics such as crafting, traversal, combat and stealth. Exiting the bunker, you will find yourself on the first map called Slatton Dale. And from there you will have to find your own way forward, looking for answers. To help you continuing forward, you have something called leads, which is essentially quests that you follow. The game has main leads and secondary leads. This is similar to maybe main quests and side quests. But how you solve leads depends on the difficulty you choose. You can decide what level of difficulty you want in the game menu. The recommended difficulty makes you solve and figure out the leads on your own by reading through notes and hints you find in the game as you move forward. You will also see a compass at the top of your screen to help you orient yourself. It might seem difficult at first without any real indication where to go next, but it's not hard at all to find your way just by exploring and finding hints in the world around you. If you want, you can turn down the difficulty in the game menu, and this will put more markers on your map telling you exactly where to go without you having to puzzle it out on your own. I found playing it this way made the game become more boring and way too easy. So I would recommend the default difficulty, which is called recommended. The main leads will propel you forward in the game's main story, and the side leads will offer you some context and lore about the area you're going through, so you will get a more complete picture about what is going on. So, the game has an in-game map on which icons will show up, pointing you in which direction you will need to go. You start off in Slatton Dale, which connects to several other parts of the game, like the secret interchange area and the village of Windham, which serves as a kind of hub from which you can travel to other areas of the game later. In short, there are 5 major areas for you to explore, and these are Slatendale, the Interchange, the Windham Village, the Casterfell Woods, and the Skethermore. Each of them will have their own main and secondary leads for you to puzzle out. The main 2 factions are the Protocol and Bard, or BARD. Now, I'm not going into any great detail here, but Protocol is a militaristic faction that controls the village of Windham, and it's led by a man called Sims, and he does not seem very trustworthy, if you ask me. Bard, or BARD, is a robotic faction responsible for managing the nuclear site and the now aftermath of whatever happened there. You do not want to mess with these guys, trust me.
Addressing civilian. Stand back, citizen.
So there are also 2 smaller factions. These factions are the Druids in the Casterfell Woods and the Bandits, which you can find in all different zones. However, these are hostile and they will attack you on sight. So, the combat system. So there is melee combat and ranged combat. Melee combat is somewhat clunky, to say the least, and it does not feel very satisfying. The melee combat system works with a light attack and a strong attack. Different melee weapons range from small knives and hatchets that you can also throw at your enemies, to large axes and spiked clubs that you can bonk your enemies with. Melee combat. Ranged combat is pretty basic, and it rewards precise aiming, like headshots. There are different kinds of ranged weapons, like handguns, shotguns, rifles, and automatic rifles. Ranged combat. To complement your weapons, there are also explosives, like grenades, you can throw. Then we have bow and arrow in this game. Pretty simple and effective. You can use your bow to take out enemies from range without making a sound. The bow is especially good for stealth, and the bow has its own skills in the skill tree. And that brings me to my next point, the stealth in the game. Well, so the stealth in the game can be kind of wonky because the AI in the game is real stupid and can act real weird. I guess it kind of works, but I wouldn't say it's the game's strength. You have a health bar, and when you lose health, the only way to recover it is to use first aid kits or eat food, but these are limited early in the game. The game's inventory is extremely limited, and you only have a set amount of inventory slots. You can carry 4 different large weapons at any given time, such as rifles or big melee weapons. Then we have the different tools that you have available to you. There are primarily 2 tools early in the game, and then there is another tool that shows up later. First off, we have the torchlight, or the flashlight if you prefer, which will help you traverse in dark areas of the game. Secondly, we have the metal detector. This metal detector will help you find hidden items or treasure that has been buried all over the place. Later in the game, we will also find something called the signal redirector. This tool will help you open up locked doors that you might have spotted already. You will open these locked doors by directing power to the locks, so you can then open them. The game has a crafting system, and it's pretty basic. You will pick up resources in the game. With these resources, you can craft items. So, the skill system, which is a progression system in the game where you can upgrade certain abilities, like for example stealth. In order to upgrade your skill, you will need to acquire training stimulants, which is an item you can pick up, and they are scattered throughout the game. One of these skills I recommend getting as soon as possible is the gunsmith skill. This skill will allow you to upgrade weapons, and this is absolutely essential if you ask me. All weapons have 3 ranks. The ranks are rusty, standard, and pristine. Pristine being the highest rank. The game has merchants scattered across the game, and each has its own inventory.
Molly, my girl, you need to become a broker. That's what I do. I sort out deals.
In the game, there is no currency, and you will instead have to barter. The game has very limited amount of inventory slots, but it does have a storage system that you can interact with and send some of your items into a large storage. I played Atomfall on a PC, and overall the performance is okay. It does have its quirks with some stuttering here and there, and it can randomly crash for no apparent reason, I felt like. The game is using the in-house Asura engine, and while some things in the game look pretty good, like some of the environment, but a lot of the rest of the game look very outdated, like for example the character models. The writing is very British and has its own sense of humor. I don't mind it, and it made me laugh sometimes.
How do? Where did you come from then? Blimey! You must have taken a knock on the noggin or something. It's what they chucked me out in the village for, the buggers.
I found the exploration to be kind of good, and solving leads and puzzles throughout the game felt satisfying.
Integrated bootstrap system online. Activating infrastructure. Assessing. Data stores offline. Central processor offline. Facilities offline.
I feel the best moments in the whole game is the time spent exploring the interchange and its mysteries. Me being a big fan of the game Dead Space, the medical wing inside the interchange is one of my favorite parts, though it is quite spooky.
Trying to help you, Dr. Fisher. Now stay still. No! Get that away from me, Alan. It's not. It's not. Yes, it will save your bloody life. The infection's tearing you apart, trust me. Get away! Keep your experiments to yourself.
There is a lot to see and explore in Atomfall. I feel that Atomfall has its own charm, and there is probably more than I have covered in this video. But I hope that I have provided something useful at the very least. That is all from me this time, and I hope you've enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you want more content like this. Cheers for watching, everyone, and have a great day. See ya!